does look like it, but the problem is, as more and more tanks get out there, definitely not going to be able to bust that. But what is missing is any spotting on the right destructible rocks here. They definitely need to get some eyes there. And as I say that, we do have a Marine traveling over there, so absolutely great foresight here from the red team, I got to say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, yeah, so that's going to be able to spot anything coming in. Looks like they're going to be aggressive and move up, but Bruce Lee already taking some shots from the siege tank. And, you know, Game Fever doing a nice thing, going to a next command center. He's ready to get in there with, you know, play very defensively, turtle up for a little while, go to some high-tech units, and then just crush his opponent with great macro. And, oh, yes, we do see the destructible debris heading down over at the right-hand side. That should alert Lobo and Game Fever to their presence, but it doesn't seem like they're reacting yet, and these destructible debris are going to go down very soon.
And I mean, he had the Marine there, but they just haven't moved any of their units at all, and this could be so absolutely devastating. The tanks are only unsieging now, and this could be devastating. Like I just said, here we go. Gonna need to have some clutch Guardian Shields and Force Fields for sure.
Yeah, and so here come the units. Game Fever is sieging up one more time, and already the splash damage is exerting its influence. However, hitting a few of Lobo's own units. Are Siren and Bruce Lee going to have enough? It does not look like they are, and this force is going to get cleaned up. Lobo forcing most of those units back. A few reinforcements streaming in for Siren, but that's not going to be enough. Combined supply for Lobo and Game Fever at 110 versus the 94 of their opponents. Unit stab suggests they have 60 workers to their opponents' 55, so up in economy, up in army, and much higher tech, much more strong units to work with. They look to be in a very good position.
Yeah, and it looks like the aggression is just not going to stop with this pylon continuing to warp in units. Units still rallied in, but there's just more and more siege tanks. So many tanks, and there's no combat shield. The tanks, man, I just do not see this position getting broken. Meanwhile, a command center has started for Siren, so they're not going to completely commit to this attack. And I don't know here. I think they should pull back soon. I actually kind of like the idea that they're just maintaining this position a bit, because it does imply a ton of pressure and gives them some time to expand.
And that expansion, you know, so you're hinting at, is down at the 8 o'clock position now. So Siren putting up his expansion. Also one just starting over at the 4 o'clock for Bruce Lee as well. One SCV makes its way up for Game Fever, going to get driven off for the time being. And Bruce Lee, Siren just kind of sitting back for the time being. And let's see, a slow push coming out of Game Fever as he's moving up his siege tanks slowly but surely, trying to engage this force. And are Bruce Lee and Siren going to reinforce this or not? Game Fever for Pitt is moving up now, and those siege tanks are not quite going to be able to catch that pylon in range. But they are continuing to move up, do some damage, and there goes the forces for UMBC. They are going to retreat back to the center of the map.
Yeah, solid decision making. It looks like they might actually just try and swing around and do what damage they can through the central choke point. Of course, already reacting, and it looks like this might not do too much damage, but they are just charging in, stimming up, taking out a ton of stalkers. There's the Guardian Shield, and the tanks are not sieged up quite in time.
Yeah, they're not really sieging up at all, to be perfectly honest. I mean, Bruce Lee now moving in, doing some good damage, but he is now going to be forced back, loses his Immortal. Smart decision here out of Siren. He is going after the economy. He is going after Lobo's base completely. Another stim comes in. He's going to be able to pick off this Nexus. There wasn't a ton of mining there. Here come the rest of the forces out of Pitt, but that Nexus is now done. The Robo Bay is depowered. Is it going to get picked off? Almost. It's down to very low health, and not quite. It does stay up. Only 172 health, so very nice job there out of UMBC to at least save the Robo Bay. But Lobo, with no more bases, needs to get up an expansion and in a hurry.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they want to play this. Looks like it might be a counterattack here. There is a ton of tanks out, 8 tanks, which can be so devastating, but of course their opponents are controlling the 1 cell Nugget Tower, so if they can see this attack coming and keep trying to engage it to delay it, they should be in a pretty good spot, as they do both have their expansions up and running, so, you know, the longer they can delay anything, the better it will be. We'll just have to wait and see. They do not have very big standing armies right now.
Yeah, exactly. That early expanding game fever, only expanding after his, or expanding just after his factory, I should say, makes this army look so strong. He is sieging up his tanks now. Siren responds by immediately lifting off his barracks and running away as fast as he can. Well, two of them, I guess. The other two barracks aren't important enough to be